Hi, Eli Peterson with Case IH. We're going to talk a little bit about the Pro 1200 operation on a 2000 series early riser planter for pre-season setup and crop type setup. We're going to default to the main run page. Notice we have relabeled run 7 as planter. So we are on run 7. We're going to select the 3-bar menu. And inside the 3-bar menu, we're going to default to the calipers, and we will select Planter Setup Wizard. The Planter Setup Wizard is going to ask us a number of questions. First is going to be the systems physically installed on the planter. Second is going to be the work condition. A work condition is more of that recipe for what we're going to apply with that unit or that condition. So we can rename. We do have default run screens. I have renamed this to be a little more specific as corn 27, being the number of cells per disc. One rate being that I will command one rate across all applied rows. And then I'm going to not utilize the liquid system on the planter. Split row application, because this is a 1631, I want to use corn rows on 30-inch spacing, so I will tell it to do a split row application. It's going to predefine itself, and it's going to look for those 16 rows and divide those 16 rows by 4. For our liquid setup, it's going to ask the same. In this case, I'm not using my default liquid, so I don't have to worry too much about this screen at the moment. More importantly, I do need to verify the location of the tool. You notice there will be some predefined dimensions that the tool is telling the tractor, but I do need to confirm, am I a semi-mount? So am I connected to my 2-point hitch, or am I connected to my drawbar? In this case, I am a semi-mount, and I do not have my hitch in the offset position, so it will trail center behind the tractor. These values here will populate and add the bar distance and my offset for my tractor guidance system to operate accordingly. In this case, I told it I'm using every other row on 30-inch, so I will see every other row in red, meaning that it is not active and therefore not being controlled by my system. It will ask for 2 manual rates. Manual rates, I'm not going to worry too much about in this case when I run with the Pro 1200 display, but it is good to have some default values in there. So in this case, respectively, I have 30 and 32,000 for planting corn. Most importantly, though, I want to match the cells per disc being 27. This is going to be the value that the system utilizes to ensure I'm planting the correct target rate. There will be a request for defaults, so if I have different seed variety or different attributes that I want to add, I can. So in this case, my system will start up with 20 inches of vacuum and 3,000 RPMs on my bulk fill. If I need to change that, please refer to your operator's guide for those default settings for that crop type. Again, I'm not using the liquid even though it will prompt me for it, so I can pass on this for the moment. We will see that subject of a different video. And then it will ask for a speed selection. The speed source selection is going to be what information the planter is going to use for that other half of the equation for target rate. In this case, I want to make sure that the tractor ISO speed is communicating its value to the planter. After I close out and hit next, it will ask me to save. So those values will save to that condition, so I'm ready to plant corn with 27 cells per disc. I'm going to have one rate command across the entire width of the planter, and I'm not going to utilize my liquid in this case. It will give me one last chance to verify my calibrations if I have certain applications. In this place, I do have a liquid system and I do have a subframe cal. This will change based on implement model and configuration. And it will also give me a date and time stamp of last performed. If you hit the home button, the system will shut down. So the planter will restart with that configuration active. And when we're back to life, we will show you where to confirm that setting. So now that our Planner UCM has reconfigured, it is now telling the display, I'm going to confirm this by going to the 3 white bars, and I'm going to go into my work condition setup, and I can confirm that the system is now configured to my work condition, and it is telling the display that it is going to be running corn with 27 cells per disk. I'm running my single rate across the whole planner, and I have no liquid controlled for this application. Again, I do have those defaults here. You will notice that some of them will be very generic. If I reassign them and rename them to my applications, it's a lot easier for me to configure and then now change from corn to beans or liquid to no liquid without having to walk through that wizard every time I go to a crop type change. With that, that is the walkthrough and the overview of the wizard. If you have any additional questions, please refer to your operator's manual or see your local Case IH dealer.